Well, we do podcasts. I mean, it's what we tell the ladies. Try to get them to show us their titties. Doesn't usually work though. Important information about my order. You motherfuckers. I, I fucking can't with this shit. Should I not be talking? Is that why you're giving me this? That's what you get for setting 6 minutes.
Because I reset the fucking audio and it reset the damn scene.
It's like the behind the curtain shit. It's like when they leave the microphone on when they go to the bathroom. And they're in there taking a piss, complaining about Karen not hitting her marks.
Have you seen the video of the chick who left her camera on a video call and then took a piss and didn't even turn the camera out?
No.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Like, her bathroom was behind her?
Like, she picked up the laptop, walked into the bathroom, set the laptop down so she could still see everybody, dropped her fucking sweatpants and sat down on the fucking toilet, and everybody on the call was like, oh my god! And as she looked over and went, oh shit! And turned it around.
See, and I've got a couple of coworkers that are like, you could just take your laptop wherever you want to go. And it's like, look, if I'm going to work from home, I want work to stay in one fucking room. I don't want it contaminating the rest of my house. Oh, what's this? Ma, look, we do stuff. I guess I should make sure I'm hosting you. Jesus. No.
And all of a sudden, it goes, beep, here's God of War.
Hang on a second. We're going to want to check volumes. So this might create a little bit of a feedback loop real quick. I was checking the levels just through the stream itself, and you were really quiet. I was checking the levels just... Yeah, you're super quiet.
That should be a little better. All right.
All right.
Righty. How we doing, everybody? How we doing? Welcome to Late Night Enforcers. I don't know anymore. I don't even know.
What the hell? You're not supposed to announce. You're not supposed to open this.
Right. Well,
the fuck?
This is fucking obvious
This is-
scientific proof that I don't do intros. This is proof.
Yeah. Now I'm all flustered. Now I don't know where to begin. And you know how long it takes? Okay, so first, there was a giant space vagina, and it floated along somberly. Then all of a sudden it wanted chocolate, and I'm about to get in some serious trouble if I keep going down that path, so I'm just going to stop that.
Probably smart.
So, we are the Late Night Enforcers, -1.
Rip.
We are here to entertain your face and invade your space. Not in that exact order. Sometimes it's the other one first and then the other one second.
Sometimes the invasion of your space is the entertaining of your face.
Yeah.
Words are hard today.
As soon as I scream open your mouth, you need to open your mouth. And trust me.
That did not work out well the last time you said that to me.
Yeah, no, I screamed it. That's why I screamed it, is because you were supposed to do it right then and there.
All right.
Oh,
man, well, it's been a while since we've done one of these, and that seems to be the new mantra. It's been a while, because life is now quarantined, so that should be interesting. I think the plan tonight is going to be to catch up on what we've been playing during quarantine. I know that you've been playing, I think, some Animal Crossing and maybe some other things lately.
Yeah.
And I've been balls deep into Apex, of course, with the rank split. But I'm trying to differentiate a couple of days a week and get back into Destiny a little bit. And I'm gonna pick up and actually finish probably Sekiro here in a little while.
Oh.
So.
Oh.
All right. That game was the issue with that game was always the fact that it gave me motion sickness.
Really?
Yeah,
and Spider-Man didn't?
Yeah, I don't understand why not. And I think it might have just been sitting too close. So I've kind of moved the chair around into a different position than it originally was, and I just haven't put the game back in. So I need to put the game back in and see what it feels like. So
yeah.
Yeah, so we'll go over that a little bit, and then just chit chat and do whatever. I'm finishing off margarita. We made homemade margarita Mexican food tonight because can't go nowheres. We could go pick it up if we wanted to because Texas. But...
Yeah, that still makes me weird.
Why?
I don't. Okay. Before we get into it and you start calling me overly fucking protective, I openly admit that I am overly fucking protective when it comes to this shit, or over paranoid, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Yes, we'll call it that. Like, I'm telling you, when I go out into public and have to interact with public, as soon as I step into my laundry closet, which separates my garage from the rest of my house, I strip butt fucking naked and I put all those clothes into the fucking washer. And then I go straight to the fucking shower and I scrub down before I do anything else. And when I come home from the grocery store, food sits in a quarantine box in my garage. Well, it's shit that won't melt or go bad. I have a secondary fridge out there. It sits in there for about 5 days or so before I bring it into my actual thing. Yes, I know. I'm over fucking reacting to this shit, but...
Yes, you are.
I am. But the second I let my guard down, something else happens. Speaking of which, that's where Final Fantasy VII the remake is right now. It's in my personal
quarantine box.
It's in my quarantine box, where it's sitting. Somebody else touched it. Somebody else fucking touched it, so it's gonna sit in that box for a little while.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, it's better that I take it too.
It's got like less than a 2% mortality rate, bro. Chill. Chill.
Wait, you're saying it's got less than 2% chance of killing someone?
Yes.
Okay, because you said okay.
Mortality.
Now,
It's mortality rate.
survivability would be the other way.
If you
Like if
wanted
it
to,
was
if I wanted to say the big number, yes, survivability would have been 98x%.
whatever, man. The last thing I want to be is the guy that fucking
Small numbers fit your brain better. So
small things do fit really well on this form, except my penis.
oh hey, guess who's free now? Well,
Yeah.
we are live. If you wanna get in the call, that's gonna make this super complicated now.
It is, isn't it? You're gonna have to change scenes or something.
I'm gonna have to change everything, unless you wanna just hang and chat.
I love when you don't do one thought process, and I get like 18 ba-ding, 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 ba-dings in a row from you, and it's like one word, like it's a paragraph worth of shit, but you do it one word at a time. It's as if you.
I blame my mother.
So do most psychiatrists, but still.
like 100%. That's how she texts me, and it bothers the fucking shit out of me because it's a text, and I guess I could like put her on do not disturb or whatever, but like she'll start and she goes blah 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 sentence partial sentence because that's how she thinks. It's whatever, but
it's the flow of consciousness. Yeah. No,
that's exactly what it is, and it bothers the ever loving shit out of me because I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna put this over here, and I'm gonna come back to it in 10 minutes when she's done talking.
yeah, and I do that to you guys every now.
I can't he popped into chat and I can't fucking see or read anything because the color's bad.
I should probably bring up the chat and at least
up,
mute
dudes? It. Digital. Oh, it's tyrannical. What's up, buddy? How goes it, my friend? I need to, while we're talking about stuff, I need to change the text colors on that so I can see it better. So let me tell you, while I'm doing that, let me tell you guys about my day. So I get that out of the way. So overall, as far as Fridays go, it wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all. Work was pretty simple, right? Nothing crazy. Nothing that threw me for a loop, so to say. That is not the layout that I needed to open up. And I was able to actually be done at, I don't know, like 3:15. And we had placed a order at Total Wine. We wanted to get some fixins to make our own margaritas because we were doing fajita stuff at the house for dinner, whatever. And then one of our friends was like, hey, I'm going to place an order there too. Can you just pick it up for me? Sure. So I swing over there. I have to hit Kroger first and do a return because we called Kroger yesterday when we did our click list order to just go and let them throw it in my trunk. And we called them before we got there and said, hey, let's run through the substitutions. Well, we said these like 3 things we were not okay with. Well, those 3 things ended up in the bags. And of course we were charged for them. They were not removed. And Kroger's on like this, we're not doing returns anymore kick.
Yeah.
But
like most people are right now.
Yeah, but the wife called them today and said, hey, look, y'all done messed up, Ron, so you gonna fix it. And of course, yeah, I got there and like the manager was there. He was like, yeah, I talked to his wife earlier. They're gonna do the return. We messed up. So did the return, went and picked up the booze, got back, made the fajitas, made the margaritas. Everything was going good. We was all hanging out. Then we got the water table set up for the kids. They're letting them play. The dog was running around the backyard. Bounce castle was up. Everybody's having a good time. Everything's going great. And then. So we realized that we didn't have enough Minute Maid limeade, like frozen from concentrate things in the freezer anymore. We only had like 1. She thought she got like 2 or 3. And That's what we're using as the base for the mix, because we weren't really doing a mix. We were just using George Clooney's tequila, which I don't remember what it's called right now because it's inside the house, and so using his tequila, and then we had some Grand Marnier for a meltdown, and we were just basically pouring that into the limeade and calling it good, and it was delicious, like delicious. But I had to run up to Sonic to get some limeade slushies because in a pinch, it works just fine. It's the same shit. So I go up there. I get 2 Route 44s, right? Get the biggins so we have enough to play with for the night if we're going to make, 2, 3 more. I am literally, the dude is bringing my drinks out. And I get a text message that the oldest decided that she was going to yell that she had to throw up from being on the bounce house. And she didn't eat anything for dinner. She also didn't drink enough water today. And then, like, before I left, she came in and pounded water, and I refilled it for her so she'd have it when she went outside. Hold on. I need to see. Hey, thanks for the biddies, buddy. I do a thing.
Buddy biddies.
So, yeah, it was absolutely retarded because instead of staying out in the backyard, this child whom I love so much ran straight through the house and didn't even make it into her bathroom. Like, all over the rug, everywhere, bro. Like, the walls, everywhere. So, Ashlyn is running inside, and she goes, and, like, the only thing my oldest says is, don't step in my throw up. So, the wife has the baby in one hand, a dog that likes to jailbreak out of my backyard running around free in the backyard, and I'm not home, and she's having to figure this out. So I get home, chaos has begun to ensue. Cleanup process begins. I go outside, I put the dog on his lead because I got my neighbors give me a stake and like a 30-foot cable for him to be able to run around on. If he doesn't run around, he sits in one spot and just barks and howls. He hates it because he needs to be around people. And then after that, we like get all set, get the kid set in her sleeping bag in a room. She got some Pedialyte. She's good to go. Baby's been changed because she's all wet from playing with the water table. Everybody's good. We're remaking the drinks, getting the mix right. Everything's great. We go, okay, drinks are made. We're only going to do one more, so let's put these in the freezer. Our freezer is, of course, jam-packed with shit because, quarantine life. And stuff, we open it up, try to move stuff around, stuff falls. Well, stuff falls, and then her limeade drops to the ground and shatter, like the styrofoam cup just basically explodes. I'm talking like the entire bottom snapped off, and it went everywhere. If you were watching this on a sitcom, the laugh track would just be off the chain, and everybody would be dying because it's so funny. But when this is happening in front of you, and you're watching your entire evening quite literally go up in flames, all you can do is stand there and stare. And so we got everything all cleaned up. Everybody was situated. We got, like, the baby got her bottle. I took the dog for a walk. They're all passed out in there. I was able to put mine in the freezer, so she'll be able to use mine tomorrow. So whatever. But, like, fuck, dude.
That reminds me, did I tell you the story about the leak in my yard and how it led to me buying a brand new water heater?
No.
So one day I'm driving home, like I just picked up my son and I'm heading back from where he lives. And I get a call from Steadiest, and she's like, hey, I don't want to freak you out, but there's water pouring out of your front yard. And I was like, how do you mean? And she's like, I think a water main or something may have busted. And I was like, I'm literally stuck in traffic. Like, it's the one time coming from where he lives to where I live that there's actually a traffic jam. and I'm stuck. I can't move. I can't exit. I can't do anything. It's as if the galaxy has just grabbed me and said, sit still real quick while I fuck your face, because I'm gonna. And so like I'm having her explain to me what it's like, and then run through the house and make sure that there's no water running
Right.
out
Yeah.
through around everything that's in here, because as you can see behind me, I have a shit ton of stuff, and that's pretty expensive stuff, and
Yeah.
that is the window that leads to the front yard, which is where the leak was happening. So I call, what was it? She had a friend that came out and had one of those big keys that you could turn off the main water
Okay.
to. So he came out, we switched it off, and he was like, I'm going to leave this with you for a while, just in case if you need it, right? So the next day, this was during our second batch of extra live streams
Okay.
back in November or late October, whichever, I can't remember now. And so I had guys come out and fix this leak in my front yard. They get done. We turn the water back on. Fantastic. It's awesome. I go to let my dog out the back. A little while later, just a little while later, I go to let my dog out the back, and I notice that there's an ant pile by my back stoop. So I'm like, okay, well, let me go get the raid. I run into my utility closet, which is next to my garage, which is where my water heater is, right? And I'm hearing all sorts of commotion coming out of my garage. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I open it. And I don't know how many of you have ever really looked at a water heater, but in the state of Texas, you have to have a expansion tank that sits on top of your water heater, right? Well, a tiny, teeny little, let's call it a pencil-sized hole, just a little pencil hole, just dabbed into it and just shot out, and it's just spraying water across my garage. So I run and grab the key, run back outside, turn that fucker off, call the same people that were out here, and I was like, hey, you guys were just here and something went tits up as soon as you left. So I need somebody to come back out 5 hours later. Somebody else comes back out, fixes that. I'm not even getting into the monetary pieces of it all,
No,
but they
fuck.
they basically get down to it. And the guy that's here, he's like, hey, just so that you know, you're probably really going to want to fix this water or replace this water heater. It's been here since you've built the house. And that's been 11, 12 years. So you're going to want to
You want to do something?
replace that. Yeah, you're gonna want to get that out of here. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. That's good. We'll think about that. Little did I know that while he was fixing the expansion tank that sits on top of my water heater, he kicked a PVC pipe that goes down underneath my water heater. So now underneath the water heater, water is pouring out from that. It's not a lot. It's not a lot, but it's enough to piss me off.
Well, yeah, 'cause
So
it's gonna rot out the entire stoop that it sits on.
Yeah, no. I mean, you'd have to see it to
Okay.
understand.
Okay, yeah.
But I got the manager to come out, and he looked at it and he was like, okay, so we're gonna fix this. I'm gonna chalk it up to, it was probably because of the way it's positioned, he probably kicked it. And I kept trying to tell him, look, man, I'm not trying to talk shit about nobody. But the way he had to do that, he had to get up here, and this PVC pipe comes down, goes at an angle, and goes down. The probability of somebody kicking that is very fucking high. And he's like, okay, we're going to take that. And then he looks at my water heater and he goes, so I'll knock $600 off of it if you schedule it right now.
Well, hey.
I
mean,
Let's schedule that shit right now then.
okay.
Fuck it. Why not? And this was like a week worth of fucking shit. And it's just, oh my God, that was, and now granted that was a ways ago, but I figured, that kind of went along with your domino effect of a day.
Oh,
That
yeah, 100%.
that was- yeah.
So I was looking forward to obviously this and then some video games later. I wish that we had been live before because the dog, telling everybody in chat and watching later, the dog decided he was going to be passed out beyond belief and then howl in his sleep. And it was one of those moments where I almost fell out of the chair.
I was telling him, always be recording. Like from now on, anytime we set this shit up,
I'll just
one of us,
record pre and
yeah.
go live after. Yeah.
yeah, it's one of these things where his dog did it, and his face immediately snapped into this position of, I am farting. And he just like sat there the entire time with his eyes closed and this like strained look on his face. And then he started to chuckle there at the end. I was like, okay. And he was like, this dog. And I was like, okay, so that was the dog. That wasn't you just busting ass just all over the place right there, was it? Yeah. Great fucking laugh.
Either way, I mean, it would have been great. Either one would have been funny.
And then there was the point where you set up the countdown and put that live, and I didn't realize that we weren't supposed to be talking over it. And I was talking about an email I got from Best Buy.
I am 100% gonna go back and listen to that later, just because it's gonna be funny. Because I was messing with the audio in there too, so I don't know how much could have actually gotten put over it. It's great. Um, so all right, well, so I mean, we claim to talk about video games and alcohol. As I said, I just polished off the rest of this margarita. I could take a shot of some whiskey. Um, this is the whiskey I have down in front of me right now, which for chat, this one's for you, and that's for you.
Oh.
Because I'm on two different cameras. So, um, this is actually really good. It smells like chocolate. It doesn't taste like it, but it was aged in rum casks.
Is that the one that we heard about through that book?
No, that is Redbreast, and that's Scotch, I believe. No,
Okay.
it is whiskey because it's in the whiskey row, not the Scotch row over at the liquor store. But yeah, that's still there. They've got a whole bunch of it. Nobody's buying it because it's costs what it costs. But I still need to pick some up. And then they've even got like some 20-year Tullamore Dew, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, like you would like the liquor store that's in my area, in terms of its selection. Although they've got a Jägermeister cold brew.
Yeah.
What? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Because nobody's drinking Jägermeister anymore.
Well, nobody wants to drink Jägermeister coffee either.
Bullshit. We just change. If we just listen, Linda. If we just change the flavor just a little bit, then the children they will come back. The millennials love their fucking fancy ass fuck coffee. Let's just put coffee in the Jägermeister. It'll taste exactly the same, baby. That's all.
Yeah. Well, and my dad got me the shot glass from he was in they went to Waco. My parents are doing like this year of mini honeymoons because it's their 25th anniversary year. So they're doing little like 4-day weekend breaks all year. And it's funny because the damn
Not
thing
now.
Yeah, right. The damn thing says 50 caliber on the bottom, but this is not a 50 caliber casing. It's more like a 25 millimeter casing. 50 caliber is much longer than this. Much longer deep.
Did I don't think I've ever told you, but my father served in the Air Force.
Yeah, you told me that.
And he actually has a 50 cal bullet on a trophy from an A10 Warthog.
Nice.
Warthog? You know what I mean.
Wait till your dog wakes itself up and barks from its own fart. I will say though, his gas has gotten a lot better now that he's getting used to the food. I knew that he would have bad gas once he started eating like regular food because he was, I guess, living off of hot dogs at the shelter. As his teeth were all jacked up, he wasn't eating hard food. And they don't have the resources there to be giving all their dogs like soft canned food. So I think he was probably just surviving off the little hot dog treats they would give him. Which is why he's like 5 pounds underweight, I'm guessing. But now he's eating like a fucking king, and he's spoiled rotten, and he knows it. And now, hold on, he's got to turn around, and he turns around like a fucking cat. He cat stretches. He stands up, and his fucking back goes whoop. When he stretches, like
the ass goes into the air and the head goes down. Yeah.
Like that's normal. I'm saying he arches his back like a cat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
He does the whoop. Like his set, like it's basically like you could pick him up from the center of his spine and let the rest of him dangle. It's weird as hell. But whatever. So, what are you sipping on?
Okay, so I haven't been drinking a lot lately. It's not.
Your face says that that's a lie.
It's not. I mean, it's more one of these things. It's more one of these things where I went to a concert recently and I don't really remember a lot of it. And it was a concert that I really wanted to remember a lot of it because I drank a little too much. So I'm kind of trying to turn a new leaf and not drink $200 worth of whiskey in one night. Um,
But,
it was at
why?
AAC
But why?
because it's $200 of whiskey and it was just Jameson and it was only
It's
four.
only $200
Well, it was four
worth
doubles,
of
so
whiskey.
8. No, it was only 100. No, it doesn't matter. So I had these cans that me and Steadiest picked up at um, Cidercade. Is an arcade that's attached to the Bishop's Winery because they do ciders. And we happened to do the tour, and at the end of it, the guy that runs the place was like, "Hey, here's all the stuff that's going to be available in stores next week. Everybody could take one can."
Okay. Okay.
Or 2 cans. No, he said 2 cans. So she grabbed 2 cans and I grabbed 2 separate cans of, 2 totally different things. So we basically got a 4-pack, right? So
Can
then we got
that
to
be utilized?
what the fuck are you talking about?
You don't remember it from the book. Don't worry about it. Continue.
Okay. So we took those and they've been sitting in the back of the fridge and I'm drinking on call me a Cabernet from a can. So it's a Cabernet cider wine thing. It tastes more like a cider than a wine. It's good. It's just whatever. It's not Jameson. But then again, I got to work tomorrow, so.
I will say that I've actually we did like the wine walk in McKinney for around Valentine's Day, and there were a bunch of wines there that I like. So every now and again, when the wife brings up some wine, I'll give it a shot. And wine normally isn't my thing at all. I don't like it. Zero drinks this year. Really, hater. Are you having zero drinks because of your new like your weight loss thing, or no? Because that's a very normal thing to do, is to cut out alcohol, because alcohol is basically you would count it as either a carb or a fat, because it has no protein value, so it's just an empty calorie. But a lot of it, especially liquor, especially rum, since you like rum, is very sugary and is more carb heavy and just would end up turning into fat. Rums and whiskeys are more sugary, so it does that. So, yeah. I can hear the dog.
No, I can hear the helicopter flying over your house.
Well, I mean, the boogaloo will start one day.
Damn. All right, there we go. Let's get this shit show on the road. So, what I've been playing during this quarantine is the most appropriate game anybody should play. And in fact, you and I have played it a couple of times together, and we should play it more together, which is The Division 2, which is a game that I swore off and swore I would never fucking buy. But Ubisoft, in all of its magnanimous glory, decided that it was going to sell it for $3.
I bought that shit full price once again.
You cannot go fucking wrong with $3.
You can't. You can't.
And I'm having lots of fun with it. And I'm not sure if it's because I only spent $3 on it. But it's one of those things where
$3.
even if I spent only one night fucking with it, I would have gotten my money's worth.
Yeah. I've honestly really enjoyed that too. When we do play, I have, just like you, been treating it like Wildlands, where it's just the fuck around game.
Yeah.
But I do feel like I will likely start dedicating. Because Apex is starting to kind of die off a little bit for me, and since I'm getting more back into Destiny, I also want to dedicate more time into Division 2 and really throw myself with the story a little bit. So, it's been fun for sure.
I'm just really happy that they did a better balance of if two people match up that are different levels. Like one of the first nights that I was playing, one of the first nights I was playing, I joined up with a buddy of mine that had the game since launch and had been playing since launch. And there wasn't, like, I didn't notice like everything going full bullet sponge like it did in the Division 1. Like, because when I was running around with you in the Division 1, I couldn't do shit except for just pick up the loot and maybe aggro the fire guys every now and then because they love this hot ass. But this one,
that ass with the magic fire.
Yes. Oh, Anthem at $3 can still be a bet.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
you know, I played Anthem for free through the EA Access shit, and what was there was fun, but
the
it,
beta that I played was fun, but I felt like it was way too mechy
yeah, yes, yeah, yeah.
for me.
No, and that's basically how I played it, was like an Iron Man Mass Effect shooter type thing
Okay.
with a Titanfall skin available for pre-order bonus. I'm joking. But it was very much like you could easily feel like you're not in a suit. You are in a mech with the way this played out. But the shooting was at least good. The mobility was really good. I enjoyed flying around in that game, but it's still one of those things where I I'm interested to see what EA eventually does with it, because I've heard they're going to overhaul it, and everybody
Yeah.
that already owns a license to it right now are going to get that for free.
Well, yeah, they fucking better.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like,
Kind of like when
if EA did EA and they fucking charged money for whatever overhaul they do to that fucking game, like, I am willing to bet that might kick off the boog and it'll be against EA to start instead of the government. Because we'll just go burn that fucking studio to the ground.
Well, and that sucks too, because it's BioWare, and BioWare has made some fantastic games in the past. Granted, none of those people that made those fantastic games are still there, so it's just a name, just like Bungie.
You fucking son of a bitch. Are we gonna do this right now? Let's do this right now.
Just
Um,
saying.
nah. So, speaking of Bungie, they still have not fixed the game yet. Destiny was fixed by this point. That's true. Speaking of Destiny, this is a great segue. Um, I did start diving back into it. Reason being is I had paid for whatever annual pass was like last year's and didn't do anything with it. Um, it was like, I don't know, it was like it was on sale. It was like $20, whatever. So I picked that up and I started just playing through the game, and I played probably 2 days worth, which for me is like 2 4-hour sessions. Okay. Uh, just trying to get a feel for the game again. Get a feel for what OS changes took place, what the armor changes were going to be like, because like they overhauled the whole fucking thing. Everything that I had was worthless. Literally every piece of gear that I had stowed in the vault, and it's like an 800 piece vault now instead of like the 130 or 300 it used to be. All the exotics I had, all of them were virtually worthless because they overhauled the stat system entirely. They basically went World of Warcraft with it for stat system. All of the armor is built that way now. Your mods that you can get in craft or whatever are all built to increase those for those stat bars. And playing around with it after probably 2 days, I said, you know what? I'm way behind. I may as well pick up Shadowkeep. So I picked up the Shadowkeep DLC, which is about going back to the moon. Because apparently, we can't leave well enough alone and like to go back through things in Destiny, which is fine because they opened up an entire new section of the moon and changed it. There's a legitimate full on new area, as well as the old areas, and no, and you sit there with the quotes. In every single aspect of the game that I have played, this area has never existed. It's not like going backwards through shit in the EDZ like it was before. Like when the first DLC dropped and they opened up the other two areas that everybody knew was originally removed from the game. This is like year 3 of Destiny 2 now, so all of this stuff is brand new. And playing through it, Eris Morn's getting stupid. She's back, and apparently all of the Hive never actually die. So we have to figure out how to go back in and like create armor to be able to fight them. So story wise, I feel like it's getting really good. I like the moon. I miss the moon. I mean, for me, nostalgia wise, Destiny 1, I spent a lot of fucking time on the moon. A lot of fucking time on the moon.
Because that's where
So
the helium flakes were.
yeah, and it's funny. I was running by and I saw the helium filaments, and I was like, ah! I went and picked some up. Just for shits and
Just for
giggles. Yeah,
nostalgia. Now
just to
you've got
do
like
it.
3 of them just
Just
sitting in your
I've
inventory.
got
So
like fucking 18, and I'm like, yes. Um, and they modified some of the other areas around there, but like the main areas are still there. The original landing area is named something different, and it's completely changed because they basically blew it up. Um, like the hive cracked the moon because they were deep inside it. Whatever. They were.
Oh, they're so deep inside.
Um,
Yeah.
so they gave it that final pump, and it went. But overall, it's been fun. And the guys all saw me on. They were like, "What?"
The prodigal son has returned.
Yeah, so they're working on backpacking me through stuff, which I'm like,
Oh, how's that feel?
this is it's so weird. It is so weird. But I dig it. It is good. They changed the infusion system to level up your gear. So it used to be you needed like mod core components and stuff, and you needed like all these other little fucking things. Now you need one enhancement core. Like that's it. That's all you need. You can buy those at the gunsmith for like
For real money or for
no,
in-game currency?
for in-game grindable shit. None of that is pay to like Destiny isn't pay to win. Everything you can spend money on in that game is 100% cosmetic. They do have a season pass or like a battle pass for all of the cosmetic style stuff. They brought trials back, so people who like PvP and Destiny are finally happy with trials going back. So there's that. But yeah, it's been fun. It's not going to be the main game anymore like it used to be way back in the day. But I will be grinding through it at least once to twice a week, taking a break from Apex throughout the week, and getting on the Xbox and grinding through those stuffs. And maybe one night instead of Destiny, I do Division 2 instead, right? Kind of start alternating that stuff.
Yay!
And I need to get back into fighters because there's DLC, there are characters that have dropped that I haven't played with yet. So,
Speaking of fighters, so recently there's been a huge big ass sale of digital video games because everybody is locked down at their homes. Fantastic, happy, good times, right? So on the Switch, I downloaded for like $5. I'm gonna get the name wrong, but I'm gonna try. It's BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle something or other.
Blaze Blue. It's Blaze Blue.
Yeah. What Blaze? I don't know how the fuck it's pronounced. I've heard it pronounced both ways, and I'm assuming it's the dumb fucking way because that's how that shit goes.
Yeah.
So I bought it, and
Blaze
it's
Blue
got,
cross tag.
it's kind of the reason why I bought it is because it's Arxis System, who are the same guys that did the Guilty Gear, the Dragon Ball Fighters, the Persona 4 Arena fighting game.
Their art style is great.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I absolutely fucking love it. But basically what this game is it's a culmination of all their games except for Fighters and Guilty Gear, because I think Guilty Gear is owned by another company.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a new Guilty Gear coming out too.
Yes. But so it's BlazBlue, Blaze Blue, whatever the fuck you want to call it. There's the Persona 4 Arena that's got characters in it. They did Ruby characters, the RWBY, which was the anime that was made by Rooster Teeth, which is really cool because me and my son just got into watching that, and it was, it was really interesting to. It's, yeah. And there's some other ones, man. There's so many others that I can't remember, right? So I bought the game. And I was just like, it's $5. It's a Arc System fighting game. I'll have $5 worth of fun with it. It's not a big deal. So I bought it while my son was here. We loaded it up, and I can't play against him anymore. He played way too much Fighters on the Switch, and really learned the system that they put into their simple games. So yeah. And also he picks 2 characters that have hella range. Like there's one that has like
him up against Hanzo plays that game, you need to put him up against Hanzo. Let him learn.
I
Something.
would if Hanzo plays on the Switch, which I'm sure he doesn't because he's got his stick on his 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I would love to put him up against either you or Hanzo on Z, just so they could be like, look, you're good, but
Let
this
me learn
is
something.
better. Yeah, because he can whip my ass
Show
at
him
that.
some of the videos of me getting my ass kicked.
So I showed him what I did show him, and I had to basically do this thing where I had to tell him, okay, I'm going to show you a video where people are going to be cursing and screaming and all this other stuff. My son's 12 years old, and yes, I know he goes to public schools, and that's my explanation as to why I was like, just don't do this, or somebody's going to yell at me. Hold on a second. Son has surpassed the father. Oh, so he chose cheese. Well, I mean, it's more of I'm not reading him correctly. Like I could not try to be so aggressive and make him come to me, and it would be a different kind of fight scenario. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, so there's this Evo moment. I can't remember which one it is, but it's like one of the most well-known Evo moments. I want to say it's Evo moment 18, where one
I
of the
have the text.
fighters. Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm
I'm gonna do a BRB. We'll probably take about 5 minutes, and we'll come back.
gonna
And
go
get
smoke
to
a
it.
cigarette.
Yeah, go smoke a cigarette. I will do BRB, and we'll play some music. All right.
Okay.
Sorry that took so long. It's I came back and I realized I had forgot my glasses inside. So, like, fuck. All right. So, where were
Where
we?
we were talking about a fighting game. We were talking about that Blaze Blue cross battle tag.
Yeah.
So it does like Dragon Ball Fighters, but you only have 2 characters instead of 3. Um, it's it's good. I really enjoy it. It is a very well made game. I like playing it. I don't like playing it against my son because he's too fucking good at it. But I think next time he's over, I'm gonna put him online against other people just to see.
I like it.
I'll let him get my points up if you get my meaning.
Yeah. Yeah. Go learn you some. Right. See how well you
Yeah,
do in the real world.
yeah.
I'm
Go
I'm
get you.
getting ready to do that with my oldest as well. She likes Injustice too, mostly because of the characters. Um, so one day while I was lifting, I had her out here, and she was just playing in the practice mode. But she also really likes fighters because it's easier for her to do. But as she gets older, I mean, she's 6 now, so by the time she's 8, she'll actually start being able to retain like combo paths and stuff like that. So um, she really likes fighting games. She wants to keep playing the or the firing range mode in Apex because she likes walking up to the dummies like with a Kraber and literally getting on their face, zooming in and shooting them because it's hilarious. But I'll probably put her on stream once, just to kind of introduce her to, hey, this is what real video games are like. But yeah, I think some online play would be good for him, dude, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I think it'd be a good time. Now let's get down to the elephant in the room because everybody wants me to talk about Animal Crossing because that's why everybody's here. It's not about the talk about Apex. It's not about the friendly banter between me and Ryan here. It's all about the Animal Crossing that
I hate to
everybody's here
say
for.
it, but he's right. He's right.
Yeah. So
So
I
Doom
will
Eternal.
be Doom Eternal, baby. Oh my God, did you get your unicorn suit? Because I did.
No.
Yeah. So Twitch Prime had the thing where you could
Oh, I
sign
don't
up.
have Twitch Prime anymore.
Yeah. Well, I still do, and because of the Amazon Prime shit, um, and so I got that. So it's tied to my Bethesda account. So eventually, when I pick up Doom Eternal for $20, because I've heard that it's more of the same, um, Animal flossing? I, I really wish that was an emoji because I would totally fucking do that to my son every time. He hates that stupid shit. I do the dab every time I catch a dab fish. In Animal Crossing.
You would.
Like, yeah. Um, so so I mean that's waiting for me. I also picked up Doom 64 because it was only like $5, and I was like, what the fuck? Why not? I'll pick it up and fuck around with it at some time. I'll stream it. It looks really good. I actually did not know that they made a Doom game for the Nintendo 64 until a few years ago watching GDQ. That's the Games Done Quick guys that do the charity shit. When people would run it, so I'm really excited to get a chance to sit down and play that. But Animal Crossing is really good. I'll be honest with you. The path to me playing it was my son bought it, and he actually saved up his allowance specifically to buy it. It wasn't one of these things where I went out and did it for him. He saved up specifically to buy this game. Very proud of him for that. Um, uh, it's the small things in life. It's similar and different.
You know what?
They,
They grow up so fast.
they do. They do. But
I mean,
so he bought it and he was streaming it, and Steadiest happened to be in the chat as she normally is whenever my son's streaming. And she was like, "Are you buying this?" And I was like, "I'm not going to buy it." So she bought it, and she doesn't have a Switch. So she comes over and are you petting the dog?
nope.
All right.
I had to grab a cable and I had to like slowly pull it up because it was all tangled and shit.
Oh,
So
I thought you were jerking it. Um,
no, that's later.
okay, I did it while you were gone.
I mean,
Um, so, so she bought it, and she's mayor of the town. She comes over and she plays it on my Switch, but I play it every now and then. And it has become that game that I go into to hang out with my son while we have our daily phone conversation. Which I've told her, numerous times, thank you for buying that, because had I known that it would have been like a virtual way for us to spend time together instead of just being on the phone, now we're actually like kind of sort of hanging out. It's kind of dumb. Like a lot of people that aren't as separated wouldn't really see it that much,
cool as
but
shit.
it's
Cool as
it's
shit, dude.
it's really cool to be able to do that. In fact, the first time, I'm not gonna lie, the first time that I went to his town and it was like, okay, we got to end the phone conversation, but I got to leave your town. It was just like dropping him off on one of the weekends. I was just like, I had that same feeling in my heart where it's like, oh fuck, I don't want this to end, but that kind of bullshit. But it's really fun. It's very very monotonous, but also very like non-existent. Like I don't know the proper.
Relaxing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like the fishing in that fucking game. Like I fucking hate fishing. I hate it to fucking death. I do not go fishing, but in this game, I'll fish the fuck out of them waters. I tell you what, man, I enjoy doing that shit and catching
Tell you
bugs.
what,
Fuck bugs right in the fucking ass. But I will catch them
Fuck 'em.
motherfuckers
right in their
and,
tiny little asses.
right in the tiny
Yeah.
little places.
Yeah.
Um, But I'm like I was mentioning earlier when we were talking about how I'm overreacting to the situation that's going on right now. I have Final Fantasy VII Remake sitting in a personal quarantine for a few days, but I'm gonna start that up probably Monday, and I'm gonna stream the fuck out of that thing. And until Square Enix sends me a message saying, please stop streaming this, you've shown almost the entire fucking game. Because apparently over in Japan they feel like streaming is stealing, because they don't think that people will watch somebody stream a game and then go buy it just because they want to support it, even though they've already.
Seeing it is different than experiencing it yourself.
It is. It very much is. But I will tell you, from watching people play Shadow of Mordor, I bought Shadow of Mordor. Now, once I started playing Shadow of Mordor, I fucking hated it, but I bought it. They got my money. In fact, I think it's still sitting on the shelf because I don't fucking sell games anymore. Hence, all that. Like, there's some.
Still have not beaten this game.
Did you even? Oh, that's Shadow of War. Okay, so that's the second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Well.
beat the first one.
Yeah. Well, that one had its fucking situations.
Yeah.
Casual. Fuck you. But I'm really excited to fucking play through Final
Hater
Fantasy.
doesn't get to say shit about anybody being casual. I'm just gonna throw that out there. He just doesn't.
You know what? There was a game. Goddamn hater, help me remember the one that I watched you play. Well, I can't even remember the name of the game or what the full concept was. I just remember the boss of the game was some fucking alien sitting in the middle of a room that had a bunch of rotating bullshit, and you had to try to get through all of that shit to shoot him before he like pushed you back out. That was some fucking infuriating shit, and I loved every minute of it. Speaking of weird fucking games, by the way,
Weird games. Weird games. What are we on?
there's this one that is out right now on Xbox, at least Xbox One, where you could download a beta for it. It's right now, which today is April 10th that we're talking about this. If you're watching this in the future, it's
Hello, future.
West of Dead, I think is what it's called. It's a roguelike, but you play like this dead skeleton dude, and you can equip 2 guns and 2 specialty items that go to the bumpers. Like each trigger is one of the guns, and then the bumper is like either grenades or like not grenades, like TNT or a smoke bomb. It's really cool. I need to reach out to the developer and see if he's okay with somebody streaming it, because I haven't seen anybody streaming it, and I really want to show it off because I think the concept is really
It's a
cool.
beta that's downloadable on the system, and you didn't have to sign an NDA or
Yeah,
agree to an NDA to be able to access it, then you're fine.
but also if I could get them to promote my stream.
I mean, hey,
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 cheddar cheese, baby, cheddar
hey.
cheese. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, and it's got Ron motherfucking Perlman, Hellboy himself, the original Hellboy,
Ooh.
doing some voiceover work in it. I fucking love
I
Ron
didn't
Perlman.
like that new movie, man. I watched like 10, 15 minutes of it. I was like, nah, I'm out.
So I liked it, but I liked it because at the time that movie came out, I was actually reading the comic books, and
Okay,
that
that makes
movie
sense.
followed the comic books a
you
lot
go.
closer.
That would make sense then. That would make sense.
Alien
So-
Swarm, that was it. That was that fucking garbage game. Took me a minute to remember it, and I could actually see you sitting there just like staring blankly, and then eventually going to your Steam library just to figure it out.
Yeah.
Even though that probably took you like 18 fucking scrolls just to get to the A's. That's right.
So, all right. So we've covered Destiny Division 2, right? Games that we've been playing, Animal Crossing. You and I played Apex last night, and I do want to discuss a little bit about that before we wrap for the evening, because I do need to get into some ranked here in a little while. So you don't play this game, right? It's like you just don't.
No.
You especially don't play it like I do.
No.
And a couple of things for those who are casuals to Apex who maybe haven't been able to jump in and play lately. While you're on quarantine, right? Like now is the best time if you feel like staying.
Perfect time.
If you are out of work and you are looking for work in between job hunting, throw a couple games in. Big changes went down. So one, they activated a Bloodhound specific event, which Bloodhound is finally starting to get some love. He's been one of the most neglected legends.
She.
Okay. He, she, I mean, yes. Technically, Bloodhound has been genderless, just with a female voice actor since launch, and now we know that it is a female based on the lore video. They did a 10-minute animated short like they did for the Wraith town takeover, which has been pretty cool.
I haven't seen that one.
I shared it. You should have.
You probably
I put
did.
it in the group.
But-
Put it in the group.
Well, there you go.
It's
That's
in the group messenger. You're a fucking dick.
well, you got to understand that when I play, a majority of the time I play as 2 fucking characters. One is Bloodhound and one is Caustic. So you send me something that shows Bloodhound, I'm gonna sit down and watch it. You show me something that's emo, I'm gonna cut myself Wraith.
No, I sent you. Oh wait, you say you haven't seen the Wraith one, but you have seen the
Right.
Bloodhound one.
Yes, yeah, I watched the Bloodhound one because I thought that one was pretty
Watch
good.
the Wraith one because you'll like it. It's really good. I mean, first of all, the animation team at Respawn needs a big raise. They need a big raise. Their storyboarding, like everything they put together for these little 10-minute shorts, for the two that they've done, has been outstanding. The fact that they don't try to get some sort of deal with Netflix to actually release a series is beyond me. Because everybody would love it. Hell, fucking YouTube could fucking sponsor a fucking season of 10-minute to 15-minute shorts.
Shit. Netflix did, what is it, Love, Sex, and Robots? And like every episode of that is like 11 minutes long, and it would fit within the same like little vignette type of thing where it's like each story is its own fucking little thing.
Perfect, right? But this one, the story tells how Bloodhound became Bloodhound. The town takeover portion is over on Sniper's Ridge in World's Edge, which is the current like season 4 like main map. Fun little trials area. I think we had a bunch of fun in that last night. I'm gonna clip up some stuff because you definitely saved my ass a couple of times, and it was good. It was a good time.
We got this fucking close. We got that.
I'm so mad that I fucking lost that game. I am so mad that I lost that 1v2.
I would have lost my shit if you had pulled that out.
Honestly, if I'd have just pushed, if I'd have pushed that Mirage, the Pathfinder would have had to come back up to me, and I would have had him fine. But instead, I slipped. Like, that's the whole problem. I hit my ultimate, and I slipped down the rock. Had I not fallen down the rock, I would have pushed into the Mirage, and he'd have been done. And then it would have been a better shot. But long story short, changes they made with this event were they brought Kings Canyon back permanently. They also brought duos back permanently. Here's the flip side. It's on a fucking timer. You can pick duos or trios regardless, but the map is on a rotating timer, which I think is the dumbest fucking thing on the planet.
It's like Splatoon. They do that same shit. So
I don't care what it's like. It's stupid.
Yeah, all right. You're entitled to your feelings.
It's stupid. I understand that they probably just said, "Oh yeah, let's just do this," but we'll make it rotate so they have to play all of the maps, and we're gonna add in like a third map and not tell them about it because they do Kings Canyon at night. Cool. I think the special event like rotation stuff, that's fine. Put that on a rotation. I think that's great. But the main maps, Kings Canyon, like Season 2 Kings Canyon and World's Edge current season, leave those static, leave rank static. But otherwise, overall, I am enjoying this ranked split in the game. I've, short of last night playing with you, I haven't played pub matches at all, not even on PlayStation. All I've done is ranked since the split. Is I'm trying to not play World's Edge, but with this event, I'm obviously going to go play it a little bit. There's actually, and we didn't do this, so we need to do this before the event finishes. There's lore in that spot, in the trial spot up there, that you have to be Bloodhound to activate.
Okay.
So there's 3 individual pieces in there that you have to go up and interact with, and Bloodhound gives you a little bit of the story that kind of ties back to the video, which is cool. I'm really digging it. I mean, you are the one who I want to know. How did you feel jumping back into it for one night since the last time you played with me, like, the World's Edge map didn't even exist?
Well, no, I think the last time we played, we did play World's Edge because I remember sitting on top of a building and there was a train track near us. So I do remember that. Okay. The last time I played it by myself was when they had the Halloween thing going on where you did like when you die, you re-res type thing. Yep. And I really enjoyed that. Last night was a lot of fun. It is one of those things where it's not really my cup of tea. Yeah. So being something that you and I fuck around with, that's fine as long as we're not taking it too seriously. Now, granted, I say that, but you know me, and when I shut the fuck up, that means I'm kind of sort of taking this shit seriously.
You're focused, you're in there,
yeah,
right?
It's like, because when I see that ticker start going down in the squads, it's like, okay, Ian, you could probably actually get a W here. Let's fucking focus. And let Ryan take the lead and just kind of fucking follow him. And if he gets knocked down, you try to survive long enough to pick his ass back up.
Which I will say there were some really good clutch moments that you came through at the right time, finished off squads, and did I feel like if I were to like to rate your performance, I feel like you improved since the last time we played. It has been a long time, and we weren't really taking it serious either. We were still just fucking around. But in the fight, right? Let's win the fight, and then let's fuck around. And that's, I mean, I'm fine with that. I think I enjoy duos as a game mode. What I really want, I want two things out of this game, and Respawn knows that the player base wants it. One is solos, permanent. And I want custom matches for console. There are currently custom matches for approved pro teams only on PC. And those are managed by the tournament organization of whatever is being run at the time. They're obviously run, like, they're managed by Respawn, right? But Respawn relinquishes the reins based on whatever tournament set is going. So whether it's scrims, an actual tournament, which they just finished the most recent tournament in, TSM, who won the last two times, came up second this time. And I didn't even get to see why. I feel like I think rumor is they got hacked on by the guy who ended up beating them. But I haven't paid attention too much to the Twitter story. But custom matches and solos for console, solos overall, but custom matches for console needs to be a thing. There is no reason that it shouldn't exist. They're flat out there isn't one, because the capability's there, because we can go into fire range and turn off friendly fire and we can fight. But if we could do custom matches with up to like 10 squads and just run it, I feel like that would be way more fun than constantly dropping in to random shit.
You know what I want?
You could run mini tournaments that way. Way better.
Yeah. You know what I really want?
What?
Titans.
But then it's Titanfall.
Exactly.
No, see, Titans would actually break the game. That's legitimately, it's been an ongoing conversation.
Oh yeah, no, it will break the game. It absolutely would break the game. But I think it would be interesting to, let's say, if they took a map or three from the first Titanfall game, right? Because a lot of them were very wide open spaces because it was built around having these giant mechs. And let's say you do the Titanfall thing where it's like you have, what is it? Everybody spawns in a Titan, and then as your Titan gets downed, you can jump out and try to take someone else's Titan, or deactivate their Titan, or I'm using the wrong word there, but you know what I mean. It would be interesting, maybe as just like an event similar to the Halloween thing, where if they were
an event, if they could try it out to see what it would do to the game, I wouldn't be opposed to that. But having not played, except anything but like some sort of demo for Titanfall 2, having not played it, but only having seen the conversation from those who have, it would 100% destroy the way the game is currently played. And to be honest, if the thought is add Titans into Apex, why not just make Titanfall 3?
That's what I want. I want Titanfall 3.
Titanfall 3, make Titanfall 3. Don't ruin one game because you can't get over the fact that you suck at it. I'm just kidding.
I don't like your tone of voice.
No, we got up to second squad, bitch. I don't fucking suck.
I do think I need to play Titanfall 2, definitely. Since I think I have the full game on my Xbox.
I'm pretty sure you do.
I probably do.
You should probably at least play that. So there's like next to nobody fucking playing the multiplayer anymore, and if there are people, they are really fucking good. Like I went into it like, I want to say a couple of months into Apex actually being out, just because I was like, look, I was pretty good at the Titanfall multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like to the point where so in Call of Duty it's called Prestige. In Titanfall, I think it was called Regen.
Okay.
I had regened numerous times, excuse me, in both, Titanfall and Titanfall 1, or Titanfall 1 and 2. And, I really fucking enjoyed those systems and the gameplay itself. So I tried to go back into it, and it's just like, these are people that this is the only game they own, and this is all they play. And it's just like, I'm getting fucking creamed. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, okay, I know when
And
to,
I'm done.
yeah, I know when to step back and
Yeah.
just walk away.
And
But it, I mean, dude, I
I'm
have
gonna be
so
honest
many
though,
fun.
like the only reason I play this game is because of you. Like
I know,
straight out. Because
yeah,
you were like, hey, this is like it's a Titanfall battle royale and it's free to play. You should try it. I was like, meh, because I was like, mechs, fuck that. And then I was like, you know what? It's free to play. I'll download it. I'll fuck with it. I'll see what it's like. And the first night, I was like, God, I suck at this game. Um, I was so bad. I was so bad. I didn't understand like character powers because I didn't like Overwatch. Right, I played that for a little bit, but not much. I didn't like it, and I didn't play as much Battleborn as I should have. And when you and I so but I was playing a lot of Blackout at the time, and in Blackout, you don't get to use the character specials in the Blackout Battle Royale, but you get to use all of that stuff in the regular multiplayer stuff for Black Ops 4. Um, so I was like, so I didn't understand how to use each individual character tactically within a group. But the movement is what got me. Like the way your freedom of linear movement within the game is what hooked me. And interestingly enough, I like a lot of people are like, "Oh, I went straight to Pathfinder." I didn't even fuck with Pathfinder until midway through season 1 or maybe even season 2. I stuck with Lifeline and Octane. Like that's who I stuck with. And then I just beasted on Mirage like season 2, season 3, and he's got to be one of my favorite characters. But I love playing as Caustic too because that dude is so useful in the end game now.
yeah.
So useful.
And I will tell you, if you go back, like, granted, this is all gone except for maybe some videos that are saved on my Xbox. If you were to go back and look at how I played Titanfall 2's multiplayer, you would think that Pathfinder would be the character that I would play as because I used the ability that was the zip line type thing that he shoots out and kind of Spider-Man's around shit. That was the one that I always used in that game. And yes, so the mobility is actually the original Titanfall killed my COD squad because when the beta for Titanfall came out, I tried to get my crew to play it, and it was one of these things where everybody was like, "You can't hunker down, you can't camp, you can't tie down a section, or anything like that." So it was one of those things where it's like, no, you got to keep moving. So I figured the running gun guy from my crew would have come with me, but no, he still stayed in Call of Duty. But that was one of the things that led to the demise of that squad.
Yeah, I actually had a funny conversation the other night while I was on stream. So one of the guys who subbed to me, rude ass reindeer, he's a good dude. Um, he's been playing a lot of Warzone lately, and it's just because he's a COD guy. So I asked him. I said, "Hey, tell me why you maintain being a COD guy, right? Because I'll admit, I was a COD guy for a long time. It started with Modern Warfare, and it worked all its way. Black Ops, the first Black Ops. I didn't like Black Ops 2 because I didn't really dig the first Black Ops. I don't like the older style and the older time frame games. So, and I wasn't really jazzed with Infinite and Advanced Warfare. I mean, I played them, but they were okay. But that time frame of around Black Ops 2 is where I was like, I'm done. Especially after like Ghosts was done,
Oh,
right?
man,
'Cause I was
Ghost.
salty about how they did Ghost, and he was like, "Well, it's just I've just always stuck with the franchise. I've always thought it's been something I've always played. I played a little World War II, and I've got Warzone since it was free to play, so I've been playing that every now and again. I just got my first win before we started the cast tonight, and the differences between Apex and Warzone specifically, the movement is way clunkier in Warzone. everybody's on the same shield system where you get 3 plates that you can put in if you pick them up. But it doesn't get any better. Like your shields, you can't go from a blue shield to a purple shield because you kill somebody. There's no Evo shields or anything like that. So to me, the difficulty stays the same. I will say the fact that they added solos within a week of launching shows that they were like, fuck you, Respawn. It's just straight up, it was a fucking big dick flex is all it was.
Yeah.
But it's still Call of Duty. So I will likely purchase the game when it is on the cheap because I want to play the story. I heard the campaign is good, and I've been a fan of Captain Price since Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. So I will end up buying it for the campaign, but I will never play the base multiplayer in that game. Warzone is fine to play with friends or even just as solo, just to mess around in, but I'll never take it seriously. But he couldn't really explain why.
Yeah. And I mean, that's like for the longest time I was a Halo boy. Like I didn't play Call of Duty because I played Halo. And I didn't switch over. And it wasn't until I met a few people and they happened to tell me that they were a COD squad. And I was like, okay, well, let me jump into this. Now, here's a question I have for you. So they just released that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 remastered thing. Do you have any intention on picking that up?
I really like Modern Warfare 2. I didn't know that they were doing a remaster thing. I have Modern Warfare remastered, and I didn't mess around with it like I should have. I really should be fucking around with it a lot more because it was fun.
I tried to fuck with that the other night, and I got through the first, like, the tutorial mission where you run through the
ship? Where you're going through the gun range.
Yeah, and then I went through the ship, and it was one of these things where I had to stop because I forgot about when the ship kind of blows up a little bit and starts tilting. That shit makes me motion sick like nobody's business. So I couldn't continue any past that point that night. But that first one looks really good, and this remastered thing is just the campaign. There is no multiplayer. It's just straight up the campaign, which I would argue that because they just rebooted Modern Warfare, it's kind of one of these things where it's like, what the fuck are you doing? But
they don't have a reason to do it because Modern Warfare exists. I can understand that. If it's just the campaign, I will likely pick it up.
Yeah. And I might too, but it's also one of those things where I'm in the same boat as you, is even though this is only $20, and right now it's only on PlayStation 4, because Sony sucks that dick, right? This generation, Sony sucks that dick. Last generation,
like, it's all down here on Sony, man. Like,
yeah,
it's all away.
And last generation, it was Microsoft. They had that dick so far down, the balls were starting to like get in on the lip. But so it's one of these things. That's fine. That's whatever. Business deals are business deals. But I put my shooters on the 360, the Xbox. I
think that's purely based on the controller, though. I have found that having played the same shooter on both systems, and this I think is more so based on the game itself than it is the system. But I do find there's a little bit of consistency in the fact that there is more lag in a gunfight in a shooter on Xbox than there is on PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't experience it as much. Both of them are hardlined in. So originally, when they were both on Wi-Fi, it was horrendous on Xbox and not that bad on PlayStation. But then once I got them both hardlined in, it still kind of happens on Xbox and it doesn't happen on my PlayStation. So that leads me to believe that it's more of a system processing issue than a server issue. But I'm not too sure. Having looked at the PlayStation 5 controller, that thing's a fucking Xbox controller with the thumbsticks in a different spot.
It's ugly as fucking sin. I'm sorry. It's test.
Is this with the thumbsticks down here? Like, that's what it is. That's what you got. You took this fucking Luna Xbox One controller and said, yo, let me, like, make the buttons flat and put the thumbsticks at the bottom. Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Well, the buttons aren't actually... Well, okay, at least the D-pad is not flat. If you look at the one that's from a different angle. But it literally looks like it is just a touchpad.
Yeah.
Like Like everything,
I thought
like
it
if you're
was.
looking at, yeah, so did I. The first time I saw it, I was like, this thing's gonna get fucking gross within the first like 24 hours. Like I'm not, no, but it's not the Boomerang, so we'll just
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
because that was fucking garbage.
it's whatever.
But so that's got it. We rambled on about
We
garbage
did.
and
We
stuff.
we rambled longer than we wanted to, but you know what? We always do that.
Yeah, and hopefully we've given you an avenue, something that helps you kind of escape from the current situation that we're all in. I mean, yeah. So if you have, we're putting this on YouTube, right? If you have,
Oh yeah,
hit that subscribe button. You click
and
the
the
bell
bell and the like.
notifications.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah,
Fun.
and then also, in the description will be the links to the Twitch channels of all of us, and then so feel free to go there and give your Twitch Prime subscription to Fiend75002. That's greatly appreciated. I really do appreciate that. And then just hit the notifications for those as well, so that anytime that Fiend goes live with one of his fun little video games that he plays, or if you want to watch the same thing over and over again, you can always
I might
hit
have
up.
to kick him from the call.
All of a sudden, my screen goes black.
um, for, damn it. For real though, we'll have all the links in the description, so you can check us all out. I'm actually going to once I'm gonna end here. I'm gonna swap over real quick, and we'll get set up. It'll take me like 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna get rolling with some Apex. I'm not even gonna do like a preload screen or anything like that. We'll get right into it. So if anybody currently is in chat and you all want to hang out for a little bit longer, I will be live and we're gonna run through, do some ranks, see if we can grind some more platinum out, because we are gonna make fucking diamond this time, or I'm gonna fucking throw this PlayStation in the road.
Ooh, film that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go shoot it or something.
Ooh, yes.
So,
Social
but yeah.
distance.
Otherwise, I would anticipate while quarantine is going on and before it gets like stupid hot, we're gonna be back on this on a regular basis, on a semi-regular basis. Probably won't be as like casty as we just did tonight. Maybe a little bit more hangout, a little bit of happy hour stuff. And maybe some other fun games. I think we need to break out the iDarb, because that's a fun little drink and hangout game.
And I think you need to download Paladins and give that a chance. Now, granted, you fucking even stated that you hate Overwatch, but I think it would be a stupid fun thing to fuck around with, So
I mean, I'll give it a whirl. Is on the box?
On the box, it's free.
On the box.
It's on everything. There's also Dauntless, which is basically
I got Dauntless on the PlayStation. I selected the license. I haven't downloaded it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll figure that out too.
But I also I need to play the Darksiders with Strife, because I've got that. I got that for free for PlayStation Plus.
Genesis? No, or 3?
Whatever one they had for Strife that just released a little bit ago.
Wait, was Strife the girl?
Yeah.
Okay, that's 3. Because Genesis is Fury. No, Fury is the girl. And it's still the character action. Yeah, load it up. Let's find out. Because I have 3 as well. And I actually want to do a series where I play through all of the 3 mainline ones before I buy Genesis. But it's Darksiders is a really good game until the second game did the fucking video game thing of 3 things to unlock one thing, and then at one point to get one of the 3 things I needed to do 3 more things to get that thing, and it fucking pissed me off.
Applications. Let's see.
It's probably Darksiders 3.
Oh, I don't have it downloaded. Okay, let me look at my store.
You should be able to see it in your library as far as like purchased. I don't know. I don't have PS Plus, so I don't know how you would see that shit.
That's what I have to remember is like, how do I go look at the games that I have like waiting for me to download?
Yeah.
Here, let me just do this. Store.
I'm still one of those fuckers on Xbox that goes in and downloads every single fucking games with gold and then deletes it off my hard drive so that the license is tied to my account.
You don't even have to do a full download. You just have to start it.
Well, yeah, and I usually do, but I do it at such a point where it's just like, oh, fuck it. Well, I'm going to let it go tonight, or I'm leaving for work. It doesn't matter. I'll just let it install. good TV here, guys.
Great TV here.
Oh.
I'm just gonna search it. Not Dark Souls, you fucking son of a bitch. Which one did I download? Or did I select?
It had to be 3 because Genesis just came out. There's no way anybody's going to be doing a free.
Yeah, because Genesis is sitting there at $40 for the full game released on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Let me look at this.
That'll be the one I buy on the Switch. Ironically, I have all the other ones on the Xbox, but I'll.
It's 3. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So I
download.
I have all the mainline or the character action based ones because Genesis is more like a Diablo like. So.
Cool. Well,
okay. Well, this wrap up
awesome.
took for fucking ever.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Hit the bell, all the greatness, because we do so much content here in the Late Night Enforcer.
Oh, we do so much, so much
all the time. We'll put. I've got my own other YouTube channel. It's all Apex games, so that's where I put all my stuff there. So I'll put that in the description as well if you're kind of an Apex content consumer. If you like other stuff, we put other stuff here. But yeah, we will catch you on the next one, and hope you enjoy your quarantine as much as possible. Bye.
Later, y'all.